Good morning, everybody. My name is Peter C. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. It is New Year's Eve, and this is going to be our last video of the year, and it's going to be a special one because today we have a chance to check out a 2026 Renegade XL. It's pretty rare that we have these on the ground here in Frederick, and it's even rarer that they're actually available. Normally our XLs sell out while they're still in production, so it's a really cool opportunity to show you guys one that, as of this moment, is still available. So this is a 2026 Renegade XL 45 DBM floor plan. That's a bath and a half quad slide floor plan. As always, we're gonna do a quick tour of the exterior and then we'll head on inside. So the XL is built on a Freightliner Cascadia 126 twin screw chassis. This is powered up front by a Detroit DD16 engine and a 12-speed Detroit DT12 transmission. Makes 600 horsepower and 1,850 foot-pounds of torque, and you have a 30,000-pound towing capacity. Now, while we're looking at the exterior, one thing I really love about this one is we did it in the full-body Polaris paint job. It's kind of like a battleship gray, and then we paired that with the Cascadia blackout package. So that blacks out your wheels, your door handles, your baggage doors, the fins for the intake on the engine. Every single piece of chrome is blacked out on this except for the door handle by your campsite. So it's that really cool gray and black contrast, just gives us a very clean look. Now we'll head around the driver's side over here and start off by going through a couple of our exterior bays on the outside. And take a look at the grille up front. See how that's completely blacked out as well. Now, to start off, we're at our driver's side door here. So this is where our fill is going to be for our 120-gallon diesel tank and our 14-gallon DEF tank. And one important thing to note with this chassis, this is a 126, so that means it's really high up. You know, when you open this door, I'm 6 foot and your entry is almost at my shoulder, but we do have grab handles on either side here for you. So even if you're a little bit older, still very easy, very safe to climb up and out of this cab. You have the grates here on your steps, so even if it gets icy, you're not gonna have to worry about slipping when you're getting in and out of the cab. Now heading down the driver's side here, this first door is actually not a door. Your fuel tank sits behind this. Again, that 120-gallon diesel tank. Your next bay is going to be our chassis batteries. So we have our chassis starting batteries up top. You have a little bit of possible storage down below, and this also has the air chuck in it. So this will come with an air chuck and a hose, which will allow you to tap into the coach's air compressor to use to fill up tires for your trailers, toys, anything like that you bring on the road with you. Our next bay here is going to have our batteries and our inverters. So the XL now comes standard with 4 270 amp hour Dragonfly lithium batteries. So that gives you 1,080 amp hours in total. It also comes standard with 2 3,000 watt Victron inverters, which will be housed over here on the left. Now, what's really special about having 2 inverters is those are going to allow you to run your AC units without shore power and without generator power, which means if you're boondocking, 1,080 amp hours of lithium, you can run your AC all night long just off of battery power. In addition to that, what you're not gonna be able to see is what's on the roof. We have 6 200-watt solar panels up there. So a total of 1,200 watts of solar. And one really cool thing I love with this one as well, which you'll note as we go around the side here, is we did this black stainless steel skirting all the way around. So that just helps protect your baggage doors a little bit, but it ties in really well with that Cascadia blackout package. Your next 2 bays here are just gonna be holding tanks, so nothing special about this. The Renegade XL has 150 gallons of fresh water, 75 gallons of gray, and 75 gallons of black. So these are going to be your gray and black holding tanks in these 2 bays. Your holding tanks do have 12-volt heating pads on them, so no worries if you're camping in colder weather. And then our black tank over here will have the FlowJet macerator hose down below. So this actually has a macerator as well as a pump for your sewage. So you can actually pump out your black tank even uphill if necessary. Our next bay here is just gonna be our wet bay. So pretty simple. We have our gray and black tank valve switches right there. Up top is going to be our sea level tank monitoring. So this allows you to see your battery voltage, your fresh, gray, and black tank capacities while you're outside. We have our whole house water filter mounted up here. Our freshwater hose is going to sit on the power reel behind it, back there. So that's what this white hose is for right there. And again, that's on a power reel, so you'll just press this little button right here, and that'll wind the hose up for you when you're ready to leave camp. You do have a spigot out here as well. So you can hook up a hose right here to it and use that freshwater spigot to be able to clean off anything outdoors. You know, if you're traveling with pets or, you know, any toys that you want to clean off before you hit the road, it's really nice to have a way to tap into that 150 gallons of fresh water outdoors. Heading a little farther down the back here. So this next bay is going to be our generator. So this has a 12,500 watt Onan quiet diesel generator. Allow you to power everything on this coach. And then our final bay here on the driver's side is just going to be our power cord reel. So this is your 50 amp power cord. Your power cord reel switch is in there on the right hand side. And we also have our surge protector and transfer switch. And if we look up in here toward the top left, you also have a 50 amp hookup out here. So if you want to plug in a stacker trailer or something, you can tie into your 50 amp off that plug right there. All right, now heading around the back. You have your two-piece rear fiberglass cap, same as all the Renegades, your lower piece and your upper piece. Renegade always does that because if you were to get in a collision with a smaller vehicle, say a smaller vehicle were to rear-end you somehow, you'd only have to replace your lower cap, not the entire rear cap. Obviously that would get a lot more pricey. If you look up above, we have our backup camera mounted back there. We also have a patio spotlight. Those are extremely bright. So if you're trying to hook up to a trailer outside at night or just provide lighting around your motorhome at night, you do have those lights all the way around the exterior of this coach. Down below, this is going to have the Gen Y towing hitch. Again, it's a 30,000 pound towing capacity. And this comes option with the Voyager camera system. So if you want to hook up a trailer camera or something to this, it's already set up for that. And then if we look down below, this one also has the Renegade RV mud flap. All right, now we'll proceed down the camp side here. Our first bay here is just going to be a little bit of storage. We also have the vacuum parts in there, as this does have a central vacuum. We'll see a little bit more about that when we get inside. More storage here, and again, just some more parts. That big box is going to be an extra heavy-duty hitch. And then we have replacement tiles here as well. So if you were to crack a tile for any reason, those tiles are from the same batch of tiling they used to build this coach. So you're not gonna have to worry about finding tiling that matches. And one really nice thing about this bay is they call it a 3/4 pass-through bay because down below, you actually go really far back. So if you have any longer items, maybe chairs or like a card table you want to bring and set up outside, you have a good spot to be able to fit that right there. Now, heading farther here past the camp door, we'll go over our last 3 bays. So right here is going to be one extra long storage bay. This is going to pass all the way through in the center. So if you have fishing poles or, again, any longer, unusually shaped items, you have a really long storage bay to be able to fit that in. One nice thing about these bays as well is every single one of these is sprayed with the Rhino liner, which makes it really easy to clean out. You do have little drains in the corners, so you can take a hose and just spray it through here if you get dirt or anything. It's a bit nicer option than having the carpeting in there, because obviously that carpeting is going to be a little more challenging to clean if you get it muddy. In the top left and top right corners, we also have outlets out here. So we'll have 110 outlets on both sides. So if you want to hook up an extension cord or something like that on your campsite, you'll have a spot to do that right there. And there is a port all the way over here on the left. So again, you can hook up extension cords and drop them through that port, and you can still keep your bay doors closed while you're doing that. And then above that is going to be our exterior TV. So this does have a 50-inch exterior 4K HD Samsung TV with the Bose soundbar. This is a Bluetooth soundbar, so if you wanted to just connect your phone to this and use this as an exterior speaker and not use the TV, you can do that and you'll have a speaker by your campsite. There is outlets in here for device charging. You do have 2 USB outlets down there on the bottom. And then our final bay down here is going to be where our aqua hot is housed. So this is an all-electric coach, which means no propane on it. Your aqua hot system is what's going to provide all of your heating for this coach. This is also wired for an engine preheat. So this provides your coach heating, engine preheat, as well as your continuous hot water. This works in a few different ways. You can either have a diesel burner. So this has a diesel burner built into it. You can choose to use the diesel burner to provide heat or the electric element. So your electric element you would be using if you had your generator running or if you were plugged into shore power. If you didn't have that going, you'd probably just use your burner, and you can use both at the same time to just provide the maximum heating capacity. All right, now before we head inside, just 2 more quick things to mention. Throughout the whole coach, you're gonna have these frameless dual pane windows, and we do have the Girard dual pitch awnings on these. What that means is there are 2 big awnings that are gonna go all the way down this campsite. It's gonna cover it from right behind that passenger door all the way to the rear of the coach. And your dual pitch awnings actually will come out, and then towards the outside, they'll pitch down, which just helps them provide the maximum degree of shade. You get some awnings that just come straight out and the sun can kind of peek underneath them. So those dual pitch awnings from Girard just really help with that. All right, so now we'll go ahead and head on inside. And again, we mentioned the blackout package. Right here on your handle and your keypad here for the entry is the only chrome on the entire coach. Everything else on this is completely blacked out. So as we're heading inside, you have this nice heavy duty screen door here. And what I like about this is that the inside is actually a grate. It's not mesh. So if you need to leave pets in there or something and leave your screen door locked, you're not gonna have to worry about your dogs or cats or whatever you leave in your coach scratching through this. You're not gonna have to worry about that. Now, as we head up the steps here, you do have a little bit of storage in our step well right there on your second step. So if you need to put shoes, you know, your muddy boots, anything like that you want to leave in the entryway, you do have a slot, you can slide it in under there. We have entryway handles on either side. So one on this side, one on the other side to support yourself while you're climbing in and out of this coach. And then right on the entryway here, we're gonna have our fire extinguisher mounted here. We're gonna have a quick lighting panel. So your master lighting here, your porch light switch, awning lighting can all be controlled from there. At the bottom is gonna be our house battery disconnect, our entry step override switch if you don't want your step to go in or out every time you open the camp door, and then your e-start. Your e-start switch is what's gonna allow you to link your house and chassis batteries. It's a little inconvenient that they put it all the way back mid-ship, because obviously if you need to use your house battery to jump your chassis, you're gonna be up in the chassis, but a lot of people recommend you just take a piece of tape and just stick it over that. Easy solution. All right, now we'll come on inside here. And briefly, before we put the slides out, just show you guys what this looks like with the slides in. You're still gonna have plenty of room to be able to walk up towards the cab, or if you're in the cab and you wanna get back and use the restroom while you're out on the road, you have plenty of room to be able to use everything in this coach with the slides closed. Now I'll go ahead and open the slides here. All your slides are going to be controlled from this touchscreen control panel that's midship right here. But you can also pair this to an app on your phone. So your slides, your HVAC controls, almost everything on this coach, your leveling, can all be controlled from an app on your phone. The nice thing about that is if you're standing outside, maybe you're at a campground where you're really close to another coach, you don't have to sit inside and keep going in and out while you're putting your slides out to make sure you're not running into somebody. You can just stand outside, get on your phone, and watch your slides go out so you can visually verify that you're not going to run into anything. Now, while we're putting the slides out, a couple special things with the XL versus a lot of the other Renegades to talk about. You're going to have Italian leather furniture all the way throughout here. quartz countertops all the way throughout. This is the only Renegade model that has those high-end quartz countertops. The rest would be Corian or some other solid surface. But one of the really cool things I think about the Renegade XLs is the interior height in here. So what is really cool is this is actually 90-inch interior ceilings. And you can see I'm about 6 foot. I can just barely touch the ceiling in here. And I think that gives it a really nice residential feel. It feels a lot closer to being in your home versus, you know, being in an RV. You don't have to deal with that low ceiling. Having that really high ceiling just makes this feel a lot more homey. All right, so we'll get started up here in our living area. Our first spot right here is going to be our love seat. So this one was optioned with the love seat with storage. You do have 2 seat belts here. So seat belts on either side. In total, there's going to be 6 seat belts in the rear of this coach, so you could safely have 6 passengers sit back here while you're going down the road. This is not a pull-out couch. This one was done with the storage. So down below, we're actually going to have a little pull-out storage drawer right there. And if you wanted to sleep additional family members in here, again, this doesn't have a pull-out couch, but you have more than enough room to be able to set up a blow-up bed, a cot, anything like that. With this double living slide, we have a ton of space here in our living area. Behind your love seats here are going to be our TV. So we'll go ahead and put the TV up real quick here. And the TV lift can be controlled from any of these touch panels you see throughout the coach. You could also control this from the app on your phone, but you'll have a touch panel here. You'll have the main touch panel back there. You'll have another touch panel by your theater seating, which we'll go over briefly. And this is a 50-inch Samsung 4K HD TV. And then your soundbar is going to be mounted all the way up top. Again, that's a Bluetooth soundbar, the same as the one outside. So if you want to just connect that to your phone and use it that way, you can do that. So we'll shift over to the other side of our seating area here. This one was done with the theater seating. So these are powered theater seats. You're going to have your power recline features right there on the side. We have these nice cup holders for each of you. And then a little bit of storage right here in the center, which personally I think that's a really good spot to be able to put your remotes, your TV remote, soundbar remote, just enough storage for all that right there. And then outlets on either side. So we have an outlet right here with 110 USB and USB-C charging ports. So if you need to plug in your laptop, iPad, iPod, anything like that while you're sitting in your theater seating, you'll have a spot right there to do that. And now, while we're looking back this way, one really cool thing about the XL is these picture windows. So these actually aren't opening windows, but you get these massive picture windows, which right now, I mean, we have a beautiful view of the Front Range of the Colorado Rocky Mountains right now. You know, it's a beautiful thing that you can't get on any of the other Renegade models. Every single one of these windows as well is going to have these built-in MCD roller shades. And one thing I really like that Renegade does is they only put the night shades on the automatic. You know, what's nice about that is if you want to use your day shades, oftentimes you're just pulling down one here or there, maybe wherever you're getting a glare from or wherever you're sitting. If they're automatic, you can't use them manually, which means then you have to go find the remote, you have to scroll through the channels and find the one you're looking for just to operate that shade. So having the day shades manual, I think, is just a much nicer option. All of your blackout shades will be automatic, which means they're going to be controlled from a remote, and we'll go over that a little bit more in a few minutes. But you can press one button and all of your night shades are going to go down, or you can scroll through and find them individually. Your only opening window here in the living area is going to be this one right next to your theater seating. So this is just a little slide up window, allows you to get a little bit of cross breeze in here while you're sitting at, sitting at your theater seating. And then show you real quick our stepwell cover. So Renegade includes these with every coach. I just think they're beautiful. They're made out of real maple hardwood, like all of the cabinetry throughout this coach. But I just think this is such a nice, touch of craftsmanship. This is the cover that's going to go over your entry step. So when you're going down the road, if you have a dog or a small child or something and you don't want to worry about them falling into that stepwell, you can put this over it. It is weight bearing. You can stand on this, no problem. All right, and then on the other side, between the theater seating and the dinette, we'll have one of our control panels right here. So this allows you to do two things. Number one, you can control the vent fan in the half bath from here, and then you can control all of your lighting. You can control the slides. So both of our front slides in the living area can be controlled from here, and we can control the TV lift from there. So if you're sitting in your theater seating, you have a switch right next to you to put your TV lift up or down. And then again, our master light switch is on there. All right, so next is gonna be our booth dinette. Now, this one's not the dream dinette like you're gonna see on a lot of the Renegades, which means this isn't going to collapse down and allow you to sleep somebody here. But what's really nice about that is if you take a look underneath it, you're not gonna have that strut right here that would generally support it, which means I can sit over here all the way on the side and my knees aren't running into anything. So this is really comfortable seating for up to 4 adults. Your 2 forward-facing seats are going to have seat belts in it. So again, as we discussed, there's going to be 6 seat belts in the rear of this coach. 2 of them are going to be right there. Built into your tabletop right here, you're going to have these cup holders. And underneath them on either side, we have our outlets. So 110 USB and USB-C outlets. So if you want to use this as a workstation and sit here and use your laptop, whatever you need to do, you have a charging port right next to you. And again, with this tabletop, all of the hard surface countertops in here are all real quartz. All right, so now we'll shift over towards the kitchen. First thing I noticed with these XLs that I just think is awesome is how deep your countertop space is. If you're looking at something like a Verona or even the Explorers, they're not as deep with the countertop space here. And what that's going to allow you to do is if you want a coffee maker, you want to set up a tea kettle, anything like that that you don't want to take out of your cabinets, you actually want to leave on your countertop, you have so much countertop space here to be able to do that. You know, maybe you'd set it up behind your faucet back there. And we have 2 outlets, so 4 total spots to plug in, built right into the backsplash in the kitchen there. And again, this big picture window behind you in the kitchen, and this is going to have the same day and night roller shades on it as all the other windows in the coach. Now, you have your built-in 2-burner induction cooktop here. They give you these nice cutting board covers for that. And then down below that, we're gonna have actually the, this is sort of your AV cabinet actually. So this has your HDMI cord to be able to hook up to that TV. You'll have a cable jack in the back there as well. And then this is going to be just a nice storage drawer. Now you can option this coach with a dishwasher. If you wanted this coach specifically and you wanted to put a dishwasher in it, that's something we can do. But we did this one with just additional storage. You have these nice slots here as well. So if you want somewhere to store those cutting board covers for your cooktop, that's a perfect spot for it. And this is all adjustable, so you can take these little pegs out and use this however you want to, but is a really nice configurable setup for pots and pans. Then we're gonna have 3 drawers right here down the center. This top one is pretty cool the way they have this set up. So you have all these slots along the top, which you could use for silverware, or you can use it for your remotes, as we're using it for right now. But you just pull this back, that's gonna pop open and reveal a second set of slots down there. So tons of storage for any small items, remotes, silverware, any little cookware that you bring with you on the road. More storage down beneath that, and they include the paint touch-up kit with every single Renegade. Extra whole house water filter. Then one more storage drawer down on the bottom. And again, while we're looking at cabinetry, this is one of the things that Renegade does, in my opinion, better than anyone else, is their cabinetry. All of this is real maple hardwood. All of your drawers are gonna be dovetail jointed. These are all soft close drawers. They're just really beautiful woodwork to look at. And they're all in a nice matte finish, not a high glossy, glitzy thing. It's all very understated, but still very beautiful. Underneath the sink right here, we have this little tilt out, so it's a good spot for your sponges. Right now I have our sink drain thing sitting in there. Bit more storage underneath the sink, and this is also where your subwoofer for your house sound system is going to be housed. And then one more cabinet all the way over there. And this is all adjustable shelving, so you can change that shelving however you like. All right, now shifting back to the countertop here, take a look at the sink. I really love the sink they do in these XLs because this is the most, I'm going to say, useful sink that I've ever seen in a motorhome. It's kind of a utility sink, so you get your grate right here where you could set things if you need to dry your dishes. You actually have a built-in strainer, so if you're washing off vegetables, you can toss them in there and you have a strainer that's built right into the sink. And all of this is removable as well, so it just comes right out. We have a grate in the bottom of the sink as well. And then again, we have this cutting board, which is made to fit right into there. But I just think of all the sinks used in motorhomes, this has to be the most useful one I've seen, just all the different things that you could do with it. Your hose back here is going to have a sprayer wand attachment. It's in this nice bright chrome finish. And then take a look at some of the cabinetry above that. So this is going to be pass-through storage all the way across. So it's open in the middle. You have an adjustable shelf in here as well, so you can remove this shelf, lower it, raise it, depending on your needs. And then finally, we're going to have our Samsung microwave over here. This is a convection microwave. It also has an air fry function built in. So removes the need to have an oven on the road because of that really, I think it's a, can't remember the exact size of this microwave, but it is a pretty large microwave, so you're not going to need to have an oven with that. All right, shifting a little bit farther down the kitchen here. We're going to have a bit more storage. These are 3 huge shelves in here. Again, all adjustable, removable shelving, so you can configure that however you want it. Bit more countertop space here, and this is going to be your countertop that is not attached to the slide. So the kitchen slide starts right here, so this cabinetry is going to be fixed in place. We have an outlet for that right there, and then a bit more storage up above. All right, and now finishing off the kitchen, we'll shift over to the refrigerator. They put a really, really cool refrigerator in this coach. This is called a Samsung Showcase refrigerator. What else would you want on an $800,000 motorhome other than a smart refrigerator that can talk to you? Because this is actually connected with Alexa. You have a whole suite of apps built into here. You could watch YouTube on it. You can make notes, leave yourself memos. It'll show you the weather. It'll show you the news of the day. Anything you could want. This is basically like having an iPhone built into your refrigerator. And then we'll go ahead and take our travel locks off here and open this up for you guys. So up top, huge refrigerator. We have all the shelves on the side. This does have a little beverage drawer down below. So this is a really good place to, put your cans, put a bottle of wine, put beers, anything like that. This is kind of intended for beverages because it's a little bit lower profile. And then nice freezer down below. This is going to have an ice maker in it and your top shelf, and then deep chest down below. All right. And then one thing I actually forgot to cover, which we'll shift back to real quick with our dinette here, is there's going to be storage down below here. So both of these are going to have these pull-out drawers. You have these on the Dream dinette as well. Usually you would use that to store the cushions, but in this you just have all of the options for storage that you could want. All right, so now we'll head back towards our entryway and go over this briefly. So in our entryway, you're going to have these coat rack hooks all the way around. You have 6 of them in total. So nice to have a dedicated spot to actually store, cold weather clothing or anything you want to hang in your entryway. Little bit of storage again up above that. And remember, we do have the step cover here. So if you're a shorter person and you can't lean over the step like me, you can put your step cover in there and easily be able to access all of your overhead storage here without having to worry about falling into the step well. All right, and then even more storage. There's so much storage in this coach. Heading into the hallway right here. So we're gonna have these push to release cabinet drawers. And again, just take a look at how beautiful the cabinetry in this is. All real maple hardwood. I mean, it's It's just nicer than what you see in almost any other coach. All pull-out storage drawers all the way down. And then finally, this one at the bottom would probably be your best bet for storing skillets, cutting boards, pans, anything like that, because you have all these slots. And these are all removable, so you can take out these separators and use this however you want to. Go ahead and slide that back in. All right, now heading farther back, this is where our washer dryer is going to sit. Your washer dryer is an option. You don't have to have that included, but we option almost all of our coaches with it, just because generally people who are buying these are living in them and they want to have laundry on the road. If you took the washer dryer out, you would just gain even more storage in these two. You could put a curtain rod in there and use this as a wardrobe, however you want to do it. And there's going to be one more drawer underneath that as well. So your detergents, laundry supplies, anything like that, you're going to have a dedicated drawer for that right underneath your washer dryer. All right, now we'll head into our half bath, which is right here midship. So Jody, if you want to get a nice shot of that before I head in. And again, quartz countertops. Everything in this is quartz countertops, matching backsplash to what you have in the kitchen. You're going to have an exhaust fan in here all the way up at the roof. You also do have a dedicated AC vent and a heat vent for this half bath, so you don't have to worry about the air getting stale or your bathroom being freezing in the morning. Opening window in here, it's the little screw out windows. We have our manual day shades and automatic night shades, just like everywhere else. A little bit of storage up here above, and this actually passes through all the way to the back here. So as many towels as you could fit. Bit more storage here above the sink. And again, same as the other side, this is gonna go all the way back. An opening medicine cabinet right there. You have a towel holder right there. You have an outlet right above your sink. So if you need to plug in an electric toothbrush, anything like that, it's nice to have an outlet right above your sink for that. And you do get a lot of counter space in this half bath. A bit more cabinetry underneath that. And then finally, one more spot for storage all the way down below. So if you really wanted to pack this stuff full, basically everything underneath this countertop is hollow. So you have a ton of storage space underneath there if you choose to utilize it. And then on the wall right here, show you our controls real quickly. So what's nice is you actually do have a switch right here in your half bath to control the blackout shade here in the half bath, so you don't have to worry about finding the remote. And then we have a control switch right here. So this is going to allow you to control the exhaust fan that's above us right now. Your lighting here in the bathroom, as well as a master switch for the front portion of the RV. You can turn your water pump on or off from here. So just those three things on that controls. And then again, talk about the toilets real quick. Your two toilets in this coach are going to be porcelain toilets. And again, they have the macerators, and your flush controls are just back here on the wall. All right. So now we'll proceed back into the bedroom. So we have our pocket door right here to be able to close off your bedroom area from the rest of the coach. We'll come on back this way. So one really nice thing about the XL, again, the Classic has this as well, but versus a lot of the other Renegade models, is this is a full 80-inch length mattress. A lot of the other Renegades are going to be 74 or 76 inches. It still is not a full king size because this is 66 inches in width, so it's at that RV king width, but having the full 80 inches of length is a really nice thing, because there are a lot of customers I know that the 74 inches or 76 inches is just a little bit short for them. This is a memory foam mattress as well. We'll go ahead and lift up the platform here and take a look underneath. So you don't get any storage underneath your bed. What you have is your water tanks. So we mentioned this has 150 gallons of fresh water. It's going to be dual 75-gallon freshwater tanks, and they're housed in here under the bed. So what's really important about that is your freshwater tanks aren't down below in one of the storage bays where you might have to worry about them freezing in colder weather. they're gonna sit up here in the cab with you. So as long as the temperature for you is comfortable and you're not, sitting in your coach under 32 degrees, you're not gonna have to worry about your freshwater tanks freezing. Set that down. Behind our bed here, you're gonna have 3 windows all the way around, and these are all opening windows. So our windows on the side are the slide up kind of windows. And then this is technically your emergency exit behind. So this window will slide all the way open. So if you're someone that likes to, get the fresh air and cross breeze while you're sitting in bed, you'll have opening windows all the way around you while you're in bed at night. There's control panels above where you sit at night. So this one on the left side is going to control all of our shades. So we have 3 switches for our 3 blackout shades here. And then over here is your panel that's going to allow you to control your ceiling fan here in the bedroom, all of your lighting, as well as start and stop your generator from that control panel. And then we have our nice little night lights on a switch on either side for each of you. We'll have storage up above. This is going to go all the way across. So this is one big pass-through cabinet. And right in the center of it, you do have an outlet up there. So if you need to be able to plug something in above your bed, you have an outlet to do that. And again, this does have a ceiling fan in the bedroom, which I just think is the nicest feature to have in an RV. Makes it feel just a little bit more like home. On either side, we're gonna have your quartz countertops. So you have a spot to set a beverage, coffee, glass of whiskey, wine, anything like that. And a little bit of storage down here. I'm gonna move those pillows out of the way so you can take a look. So you have a good spot to put your iPhones, iPads, anything you want to store next to you at night. And on either side, you're also going to have an outlet right next to you. So this is a 110 USB and USB-C charging right there. All right, so shifting to the other side of our bedroom, we'll go over all of our storage here. And again, keeping with the theme of just how nice the woodwork and cabinetry is in Renegades, if you can take a peek in here, we'll go ahead and open this up as well, because this panel with your TV will actually fully open. We have a wardrobe that goes all the way across here. You have curtain rod mounted to the roof, so you can use this for hanging storage all the way across. And this whole closet is going to be cedar lined, just this beautiful cedar. And one nice thing about your wardrobe as well is you can't see them, but on the inside of the rim here, there's going to be these little LED lights. These are motion activated, so they're not going to turn on until you actually open your cabinet doors. Underneath our TV, we'll have 2 deep storage drawers. And again, to note with the TV here, 4K HD smart TV, same as everywhere else in here, your Bluetooth, Bose soundbar. And again, this whole panel will open and allow you to access everything behind there in the wardrobe. And then we have one more side of the wardrobe over here. Underneath all that, we're gonna have these 2 cabinet doors, which is a pass-through. So all the way across. We'll have one more over here, and this actually has some adjustable shelving in it. It also, the top shelf is kind of going to be our AV cabinet again, so we'll have our HDMI hookup for the TV, your cable hookup, all that's going to sit on that top shelf. And those are adjustable shelves again, so you can remove them or configure that however you want to. And then all the way at the bottom, we're going to have our 3 storage drawers. They're going to go all the way across. Again, everything in here is all soft close drawers. All right, and then if you can take a look towards the floor, Jody, we'll see where our central vacuum hookup is. So we mentioned this has the central vacuum, the bag for all those attachments we saw in one of those storage bays outside. So right there is where you'd hook up the hose for your central vacuum, and this is also going to be the kick sweep. So if you want to just sweep everything into a pile and sweep it right into there, you have a spot for that dedicated in the bedroom. And also, while we're looking at the floor, I think one thing I actually forgot to mention, porcelain tile floors throughout, and these are also heated floors. So you have 2 zones of electric radiant heat built into your tile flooring, one for your living area and one for your bedroom and bathroom in the rear. All right, so now we'll head all the way back into our main bathroom here. Again, we have our pocket door built here into the bathroom. Get a nice shot in here, Jody. So the quartz countertops, the matching tile backsplashes we had in the kitchen. And your tile backsplash is actually going to continue all the way around the side here to either side of your toilet. Right on the inside here, we're going to have our controls. So same as we saw in the half bath, we're going to have a switch for this blackout shade right next to me. And then in here, you're going to be able to control the exhaust fan that's here in your main bathroom. You're going to be able to control your lighting, your rear master light switch, so that's going to be the bedroom and the bathroom, and turn on or off your water pump. Now let me shift out of the way here. Right next to the toilet, take a look at some of the storage we have down there. So our bottom compartment is going to be open. Good place to store towels or anything. A lot of people will actually take some like mesh netting, just from Amazon and put it over that compartment. Depending on what you're putting in there, so you don't have to worry about it rolling out when you go down the road. And then above that's going to be one opening drawer. Nice big countertops in here. Again, we have the little towel holder above that and another outlet here in your main bathroom to be able to plug in toothbrushes, anything like that. Huge storage cabinet here in the bathroom. And again, all adjustable shelving throughout. You do not have an opening medicine cabinet in this bathroom, but what you do get is this beautiful backlit mirror, which is just a really nice touch to give this even more of a residential feel. Actually a decent sized sink versus what you're going to see in a lot of motorhomes. So this is, again, keeping with that residential theme. It's just a little bit closer to what you'd expect out of a house. And then more storage all the way on the bottom there. And again, we have that LED lighting ran underneath our cabinetry. Just gives it that really refined touch. All right, so now let's take a look at the shower in here, because this is another part of the motorhome that's just gonna feel like absolute luxury. The shower head they have built into this. So we have a rainfall shower head all the way up at the top, and we have these 4 body misters built into this as well. And then you also have a wand. So this is like the kind of shower you'd expect to get at the Four Seasons, not something you'd see in an RV. We also have not cabinetry, but little storage spots here built into the wall. So if you want to put your shampoo or soap, loofahs, anything like that, you're going to have a designated spot to store that. And then one really cool thing about this shower is if you take a look at this blue light right here, this is the shower miser system. So what this actually does is generally while you're waiting for your hot water to heat up, what you'd be doing is you turn on your water, and even though this is continuous hot water, it's still going to take a few minutes to get warm, same as it is in your house. So while you're waiting for that water to heat up, you'd just be wasting water by sending it straight to your gray tanks. What your shower miser system does is it actually recirculates that water until it's hot. Once it's hot, this indicator light here is going to let you know, it's going to turn red to let you know it's hot, and at that point it'll start sending the water to the gray tanks. But what that does is it just prevents you from wasting fresh water while you're waiting for your water to heat up. This does have, again, 150 gallons of fresh water, so ton of water for boondocking, but you still want to do everything you can to preserve your fresh water. While we're standing in the shower here, one really cool thing to point out as well is how big the shower pan is. I'm standing in here, you really have enough room almost for 2 people in here if you wanted to, versus like the corner showers that you get in the Veronas and the Valencias. This does have the teak shower bench built in, so if you need to be able to sit down in the shower and shave your legs, or just sit down in here and enjoy your nice rainfall mister luxury shower, you have a bench for that. And then your door right here actually has a safety latch over here on the right side. This is like a 3-stage door. All right. So now we're going to head up front and we'll go over the control panel on this coach real quickly. Show you a couple of things that we're going to do there. So right here is the central controls for this entire motorhome. Again, this will pair to an app, and you can do almost everything you can do on this with your cell phone, but this is what you're going to use to control most of the coach. So here on our home screen, We're going to have a light master switch, so that'll turn all of the lights in this coach on or off. We're going to have our fresh gray and black tank monitors right there. Your water pump switch, your tank heaters can be turned on or off from right there. It's going to display your house battery percentage, your chassis battery voltage. We can start or stop our generator, and we can turn the aqua hot on or off. So we mentioned with that aqua hot, we have an aqua hot diesel burner and an aqua hot electric. That's what's going to be controlled from there. So right now we have that running just on the electric. And you can control almost everything just from the home screen. So this Firefly system is really well put together for that. Our next panel is going to be dedicated just for lighting. So we have our front lighting, which is going to be all the lighting in the living area up here. Our rear lighting, which is going to be the bedroom and the rear bathroom. And then we also have the exterior lighting. One thing we forgot to talk about actually is outside you have LEDs that are ran underneath the slides and underneath the body of the coach. So at nighttime, you can really see those LED lights. It makes this really cool scene lighting, and you can program that from here however you want to. So you can choose any amount of colors from here. You can create your own colors. You can have it cycle through a set list of colors. So right now we had it cycling red and green for Christmas just because it's a nice, it's a cool touch. And you can control the ground accent, which is going to be the accent underneath the body of the coach, and the slide out accent, which is the LED lighting mounted under the slide individually. So you could do different colors if you want to. You can get really creative with it, but it is one of the coolest things to see a full gray painted coach lit up red or green or something like that. It's just really cool. All right, this next panel is going to be all of our electrical. So this is just showing what's going on with our electrical. And again, it displays your house battery percentage, your chassis percentage. We can start or stop our generator. We can program our auto gen start from here. So our auto gen start, if you want to set your generator to start or stop based on a battery percentage, stop at 100%. If you want to set it to start or stop based on an AC, an HVAC load, any of that you can program here with your AGS. Next panel is going to be dedicated just for our climate control. So rear, mid, and front. There are 3 15K BTU ACs on this coach, all with heat pumps. So we have our heat pumps there. We can set this to cool, we can set this to heat pump, or we can control our aqua hot from there. And this is the main climate for the coach. Again, our aqua hot electric and aqua hot burner, we can start or stop from there. And then our floors, so again, we mentioned this has electric radiant heating in the floor. We have our front floor and our rear floor. And then we also have our bays. Your aqua hot can be used to heat your bays, and you can control your bay temperature from there. So for all your storage bays, usually you'd keep them around 50 degrees or just above freezing. And then our vent fans, again, we have that half bath vent fan and master bath vent fan. We could control those from there as well. This next one is going to control the ceiling fan for the bedroom. And again, that ceiling fan for the bedroom can be controlled from the overhead panel right overhead of the bed. Your TV lift, and again, there's 2 other spots in this coach that you can control your TV lift. And then all of our slide outs and leveling in here. So 4 slides controlled from there. We can go into our leveling. This has 4-point hydraulic leveling, and all you have to do is click auto level. This whole coach will level itself. But again, you can do this with the app. So if you don't want to be walking around, rocking your coach while you're trying to level it, you can just step outside, go into your app and click auto level and just wait for that to be done. And then we can also control those 2 awnings, your rear awning and your front awning that we discussed outside. And then finally, just your settings panel. So this is where you're going to go in to connect to your mobile app, your diagnostics panel. You can change your screen brightness for the Firefly there, program the time, and if you, for some reason, or someone that used Celsius, you can change it there from Fahrenheit if you needed to. All right, so now we're going to head all the way up front and finish off in the cab of this coach. Let me grab that. So you have 3 cabinet doors here above. You can't option the 126 Cascadia chassis with a cab over bunk. It's not available on this chassis like you would on an M2 chassis. You get this cabinetry above it. Now, I always find it kind of funny they put these cabinet doors all the way around because there is no storage up there. They just do this to kind of tie in the look. Behind this main one is going to be our breaker panels. All the way on the right side, though, is where we do get a little bit of storage. And this is also where your Starlink and Wi-Fi router are housed. So every Renegade XL comes standard with Starlink. So that's our Starlink router. And then above that, you're just going to get a little bit of storage. And again, adjustable shelf in there. So if you want to drop that down a little bit and make a little bit more use of the space, you can do that. We have our cab curtains here on either side. So these will run on a track all the way around. And then with your seats up here, these are going to be Italian leather captain's chairs, same as we have in the rest of the coach. These are heated and air-chilled air seats, and they'll also swivel. So they're mounted on a swivel base, which means you can turn these 180 degrees and face them back towards the cab. Just allow you to have a little bit of additional seating. So if you really want to have a party in your motorhome, theoretically, you could seat 10 people in this living area very comfortably. All right, so we'll go ahead and start it. And we'll just briefly talk about a couple of the things here in the cab. So all the way at the top is going to be where our camera system is. So this actually has the 360 camera system. So right now we're looking at our front camera, looking at the AV van that's sitting right in front of us. So we have our side cameras built into here, which are activated with our blinker. So if I put on my left turn signal, we're going to show our left side as well as the 360 view. Right side's going to show your right side and your 360 view. And you can toggle through that to see any one of the angles you want to. So right now we're looking at the front, but we can show our left and right sides. We can show left, right, and rear. We can show all four, or we can show the 360 view of the coach. So really easy to be able to maneuver this coach around a campground or anything, or if you're trying to back up to a trailer, having all those camera views all the way around makes that really easy to do. Down here, looking towards the dash, what's really cool about the Cascadia chassis is how all this is oriented. With like an M2 chassis, this is just going to be flat all the way across the front. But with the Cascadia chassis, this has this kick out in the center, which orients all the controls actually towards the driver. So easily can reach all of this from the driver's seat without having to lean way forward. This has the Garmin system, which is this little removable panel right here. You have to have the Garmin app to use most of the functions in this, but this will be used for navigation or anything like that. But again, nice thing about it being removable is your passenger can just pull it off and sit in their seat and program in the navigation for you, however you want to do that. Here on our controls, to show you a few of the things you can do. So we have a designated slot just for gauges, and you can customize this however you want to. So you can go in and add whichever one of these gauges that you want to have displayed there. It's completely customizable. You can turn your regen on or off from there. In chassis, we're going to be able to see our TPMS system. So 10 tires in total on this coach. That's reading the PSI for all of them. You can read the temperature for all of them. Your axles, maintenance, diagnostics, all of that is in there. We can control our lighting, so our exterior and interior lighting for the cab, the overhead lighting, as well as the footwell lighting is controlled there. You have your navigation, so you could use the built-in navigation for the chassis, or you could use the Garmin navigation. You can pair your phone to this if you want to play music with Bluetooth. And this also does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but it's wired, it's not wireless. So you are going to have to bring a USB-C cord or USB cord and actually plug in your phone, but then you can use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So if you want to use the navigation on your phone, you can do that, and that'll show up on this panel right here. And then everything on this can be controlled from the steering wheel. So on your right side right here, we have this little spot. You just toggle back and forth. You can click on there. So you can technically control everything on that panel without ever taking your hands off the steering wheel. Down here, you're gonna have your trailer brake, your footwell and utility light switches, your hazard lights, your parking brake, our interaxle lock, differential lock, suspension dump, and then your hitch camera right there. So this is actually a toggle to show your hitch camera on your Garmin system right there. So again, really easy to make it to back up to a trailer or anything like that. And then just our HVAC controls there along the top. All right. Oh, actually, real quick, just go over the storage you have up here. On either side, driver's side and passenger side, you will have a little bit of overhead storage. And we also have our big sun visors right here. And for the women out there, these do have mirrors, lighted mirrors built into them. All right, so that's gonna wrap up our tour for today. Again, my name is Peter C. All of my information is on this clipboard right here. You can reach me by calling me at my 719-799-8357 number, or you can email me at that email right there. Again, this XL is still available at the moment, so if you're interested in this one, or you're interested in potentially ordering an XL and building one similar, please reach out. If you have any questions at all, these are huge coaches, and even if we spend an hour going through them, there's still always things that we miss. So if there's any questions you have that I didn't cover in this video, please reach out and I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Other than that, Happy New Year to everyone out there, and thanks for watching our video.